In the heart of the bustling city stood a small, charming bookstore, an oasis amid the clamor. Its vintage wooden facade and large bay windows beckoned curious souls inside. This sanctuary was a favorite of Emma, a woman in her early 30s and an art curator by trade. The bookstore offered her a refuge, a place where each aisle promised discovery and each visit felt like a quiet escape. One golden afternoon, Emma wandered through the art section, her fingers trailing across the spines of books. Her attention caught on a hefty tome about Renaissance art. Startled, she glanced up to find herself face to face with a man whose calm presence matched the shop's tranquil air. His name was Jack, a writer with a love for historical narratives. They both laughed at the coincidence, their initial surprise quickly softening into friendly conversation. Their shared interest in the same book opened the door to a deeper exchange, and soon they were discussing art, history, and the curious intersections of their worlds. The connection felt easy, natural. As the afternoon light shifted, casting warm patterns across the wooden floor, they lingered in each other's company. Eventually, the adjoining cafe became the backdrop for continued dialogue. Emma spoke animatedly about her curatorial projects, while Jack shared his passion for unearthing forgotten stories from the past. That chance encounter led to exchanged contact information, a simple gesture underscored by a shared sense that this meeting was more than fleeting. Over the following weeks, their bond deepened effortlessly. They attended gallery exhibitions, explored historic districts, and filled their time with conversations that blended curiosity with mutual admiration. For Emma, Jack became a confidant, someone who understood the intricate layers of her world. For Jack, Emma was both muse and intellectual partner. Their relationship unfolded organically, built not on grand gestures, but quiet moments and shared understanding. Neither of them could foresee how profoundly this serendipitous meeting would shape their lives, setting the stage for joys, doubts, and revelations yet to come. As months passed, Emma and Jack's relationship deepened, but subtle shifts began unsettling her. Jack, once readily available, grew distant, canceled plans, vague excuses about work or family, and missed messages became routine. Emma tried to rationalize it. Life gets busy, but unease gnawed at her. What bothered her more was Jack's guardedness. His phone, always within reach, was kept screened down and silent. Conversations that once flowed openly now had limits. Questions about his family or past relationships were sidestepped with vague responses. His social media presence was nearly non-existent. No photos, no tags, nothing to give her a glimpse into his world beyond their time together. When Emma tried to share their moments online, Jack politely declined, citing privacy. She respected that, but it added to a growing sense of being kept at arm's length. Her friends noticed too. They wondered why she hadn't met anyone from Jack's life, why he seemed so separate. Their gentle concerns echoed the questions Emma tried to silence. Determined to bridge the gap, she suggested meeting his friends or family. Jack's answers were always the same: conflicting schedules, people out of town. Each deflection felt like another wall going up. Emma couldn't ignore the tension any longer. Sleepless nights left her analyzing his behavior, replaying subtle signs she once overlooked. Turning to online forums for solace, she read countless stories of people who unknowingly became the other person. The details struck her: sporadic availability, secrecy, reluctance to share lives. It was unsettling how closely their stories mirrored hers. Suddenly, moments that once felt like happy memories seemed tinged with something darker. Weekends when Jack vanished, phone calls he took in hushed tones, his refusal to acknowledge their relationship publicly, all painted a different picture. Emma started revisiting their relationship, piecing together overlooked inconsistencies. The sense of exclusion, the avoidance, the lack of deeper connection beyond their isolated bubble, it all suggested a possibility she dreaded. Trust had been the foundation of what they built, but now it felt brittle, compromised by shadows she couldn't unsee. Emma realized she had reached a crossroads: stay silent and live in uncertainty, or confront the growing suspicion head-on. Emma's unease had grown impossible to ignore. The inconsistencies in Jack's behavior, the evasive answers, sudden absences, and guarded demeanor felt like puzzle pieces she couldn't quite fit together. Driven by a gnawing need for clarity, she began to quietly observe him more closely, each moment laced with a quiet tension. One evening at a familiar bistro, Emma caught something she couldn't overlook. Jack's phone buzzed, and he glanced at the screen before quickly silencing it. His expression briefly clouded before he masked it with a forced smile. It was a small, fleeting act, but to Emma, it screamed of something hidden. That night, she confronted him. She voiced her doubts, her desire for transparency, hoping to ease the storm inside her. But Jack remained elusive, brushing off her concerns with vague reassurances. Instead of easing her mind, his reluctance only deepened her suspicions. Unable to settle, Emma took matters into her own hands. Quietly, methodically, she searched online, piecing together stray details, following digital threads he had tried to keep out of view. What she uncovered shattered her world. Jack was married, his wife living in a neighboring city. The revelation hit her like a blow. Everything, their connection, the shared moments, the quiet joys, suddenly felt hollow, tainted by deceit. She sat alone, replaying each memory under this new, harsh light. The exhibits they wandered through, the books they pored over, the stories they exchanged, now laced with betrayal. But worse than the heartbreak was the realization of her unwitting role. She had never imagined herself as the other woman, yet that's precisely where she found herself. The stigma wrapped around her like chains, heavy with shame and anger, though she had walked into it unknowingly. In the quiet of her apartment, Emma wrestled with grief and confusion, questioning not only Jack's integrity, but her own instincts. How had she missed the signs? How could she ever trust again? Yet amidst the wreckage, something stirred. Small, fragile, but unmistakable. A resilience. A flicker of determination to reclaim her sense of self, to step away from the lies she had unknowingly been entangled in. The path forward felt uncertain and steep, but she knew one thing: she would no longer settle for shadows. She deserved clarity, truth, and above all, freedom. Jack's betrayal left Emma reeling. The man she loved had been living a double life, and every memory they shared now felt tainted. The immediate emotional fallout was overwhelming. Anger, sorrow, and confusion crashed over her in relentless waves. Her trust, once unwavering, lay shattered, leaving her questioning not just Jack's sincerity, but her own judgment. In the days that followed, Emma cycled through intense emotions. She'd feel numb one moment, then consumed by anxiety the next. Intrusive thoughts, flashes of their moments together, now cast in a harsh light, haunted her daily life. This emotional flooding left her exhausted, her body reflecting the strain. Sleep became elusive, meals tasteless, headaches persistent, all signs of the deep stress her mind and body endured. Searching for understanding, Emma turned to books and articles about infidelity. She discovered her reactions weren't unique. Many people betrayed in relationships experienced similar turmoil, diminished self-worth, pervasive sadness, even symptoms akin to PTSD. Realizing her feelings were valid and shared by others brought her some measure of comfort. Recognizing she couldn't face this alone, Emma sought the help of a therapist specializing in relationship trauma. Therapy became a lifeline, a safe, non-judgmental space to untangle her grief, anger, and confusion. Slowly, with professional guidance, she began reclaiming a sense of control over her life and emotions. To further ground herself, Emma revisited activities that once brought her joy: creative outlets, exercise, simple pleasures she had sidelined during her relationship. These hobbies became tools for healing, offering moments of peace and helping her reconnect with parts of herself she feared had been lost. The path to recovery wasn't linear. There were days when the weight of betrayal felt unbearable, when hope seemed distant. But with each step forward, Emma discovered reservoirs of resilience she hadn't realized she possessed. Each setback became an opportunity to reaffirm her worth and strength. As time passed, Emma began to reevaluate her relationship with trust and vulnerability. Jack's betrayal had fractured her trust in others, but more importantly, it challenged her ability to trust herself. Through reflection, she gradually rebuilt that foundation, learning to approach future relationships with caution, but also with a clear understanding of her boundaries and needs. Emma set out on a personal journey to reclaim her power. The road wasn't easy, but fueled by resilience, she was determined to rebuild her life and herself. A key part of her healing was learning to trust herself again. Jack's deceit had fractured not only her trust in others, but in her own judgment. Emma turned inward, reflecting on her values, boundaries, and desires. She came to understand that restoring self-trust is gradual, requiring patience and compassion for oneself. Determined to reconnect with herself, Emma sought out activities that reignited her passions. She joined community groups, explored new hobbies, and attended workshops. These ventures not only brought her joy, but also introduced her to a circle of like-minded people, reminding her that connection and belonging were still within reach. Emma's renewed focus extended to her career. Pouring her energy into her professional aspirations, she pursued opportunities that challenged and elevated her. Each success became a reflection of her growing confidence, reinforcing her identity outside of her past relationship. Throughout it all, Emma prioritized self-care. She nurtured her well-being through mindfulness, physical activity, and creative outlets. These practices grounded her, ensuring she cared for her body and mind as she rebuilt her sense of self. In time, Emma's narrative shifted from one marked by betrayal to one defined by strength. Her journey highlighted the human spirit's remarkable ability to adapt, heal, and thrive, even after deep wounds. She emerged not only whole, but empowered, ready to face the future with clarity and resilience. Her story stands as a reminder. Even in the aftermath of heartbreak, there's always a path back to oneself and beyond. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. Thanks for watching.